Welcome everyone to today's show. Today we are going to talk about the Academy Awards. This is the show Storytime supported by Erasmus Plus and presented by the Center for European Initiative CEI. I'm here with my friend Yeva from Lithuania, and as I said, we are going to talk about the Academy Awards, which, as you know, is going to be on this weekend. In Bulgarian time, it's going to be at March the 3rd at 5 in the morning, so it's pretty early, but in the next day we are going to see the results, hopefully. The history of Academy Awards started in 1927 when the American Academy decided to make an award called the Award of Merit to just give a sense of achievement to the film industry, and to make filmmakers an award. So now we have the 90th Academy Award ceremony in this weekend, which is a pretty long history. At the first Academy Award ceremony, there were only 270 people, so now the popularity has risen a bit in the last 90 years. But I'm sure that those films that got the Academy Awards back in 1928, they were just as good as the ones that they get now. Welcome back to our show about the Academy Awards. I'm Kinga from Hungary, and I have Yeva here from Lithuania. So, first of all, where did you first hear about the Academy Awards?
I don't know, probably somewhere on the news when I was a teenager, about 12 or something.
Yes, was it something, or is it something big in Lithuania?
I think only for those who are interested in watching movies or even creating them themselves, then it is big, but overall it's just something that's happening far away.
Well, I remember the first time that I heard about the Academy Awards, I knew nothing about it because I didn't watch these television programs in the TV, the popular channels, and I heard it from my classmates, and I didn't know anything about it, but I just got it from them that it's something really big and I should be watching and I should be following it, but for a long time I had no interest in actually watching what the Academy Awards were about. But I think it's pretty popular between children.
Maybe.
But do you know why it might be? It's strange.
Maybe the children like watching the movies there, but
Maybe, or maybe it's just the glitter and gold and everything that attracts.
Or maybe that.
Attracts them. Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
A
Who
big
knows?
show.
We are not psychologists to say this for certain. Okay, so what is your favorite movie? What is your favorite film?
Well, I'm not sure because I've watched a lot, but also there are a lot that I would like to watch. But the first that came to mind was The Book Thief.
Oh yeah, based on the book by Markus Zusak, right?
So I watched this movie just on a whim when I was in Australia, and it was in the cinema, so I just went and watched it, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, it's a wartime story, right?
Yeah.
So what makes it different from the other films?
Well, I'm not really someone who watches a lot of historical movies, but this one is one of the few that I watched and really liked. So for me, that is different. And it's also a story about a girl how she lived in that time when she lost her family and got a new family where she wasn't, she was accepted by the stepfather, but she wasn't accepted by the stepmother as much. And how she got over it, how she liked reading, which is very amazing. So
it's basically just a story about a kid growing up in different situations, but based in the wartime.
Yes.
Right? But I heard that the book is actually, the interesting thing about it is the whole of the book is taught by the perspective of death, like the figure of death.
Yeah,
which would be an interesting read. But yeah, they make a lot of films about based on movies, based on books. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, films based on movies, that would be weird.
Yeah.
So, about difference and diversity, there was this scandal in 2016 that they wanted to boycott the Oscars because they felt that there were not enough colored people in there, not enough African Americans or Asians. Do you have any opinion on this?
Well, I believe that it's not about the award that who gets it. It's not the fault of those who are giving the awards, that the people that are very talented happen to be like white people or have
Yes,
some
but
kind
it's
of a eye color. I think maybe that's more about what kind of movies they act in, or the movies themselves, what kind of actors they choose. But also, it's a very open subject because
yes, but
if a movie
it's
is based
nowadays
on
it's a really big deal. They make a lot of publicity about things they are African Americans get really easily offended. Well, the majority. I'm sorry for if someone is actually listening from America who's African American and he doesn't feel the same way. I'm sorry for that, but most of them they get offended pretty easily.
yeah, but if you watch, just think about it from the perspective of white people, then it's also not fair that they
Yes,
get
it's not
offended
fair against
because
white people.
yeah,
That's exactly there was this scandal. A very famous English British actress, Charlotte Rampling. She was nominated in that year, and she actually said that it's not the fault of white people, and it's racist against white
exactly.
people if they want to boycott the Oscars. But it just shows how much America is influenced by these trends.
Yeah, and well, I do live in Lithuania where it's not common to see that many black people, but I also
Yeah.
believe that we don't really look at black people differently just because they're different color.
Yes, but
So,
well, you don't actually know it until you have a lot of people with color living in
yeah,
your
of
neighborhood.
course.
Yeah, so it's a hard question for us to answer. So why do you think it's important to have these kind of awards?
Well, it is a good way to show the actually good movies and just to encourage the filmmakers
But
that
is
they're,
it really awarding how good a movie is?
in a way, I think so.
Is it not based more on popularity?
Depends on how they decide, actually.
Well, they make the vote by the Academy members. They actually have the Academy Award members who are the voting team. There are more than 7,000 people voting for different for in the different categories. And you need to be in the film industry, and you need to have sponsors who are already members in order to get into this team. So it's basically professionals who are choosing this.
In that case, I do believe that it is more on the how good the movie is and less on how popular it is. Although usually the more good movies get popular.
Yes, and it's also the fault of people. Basically, like
Yeah.
human nature, because humanity can be influenced by others, and
Yeah.
they can be influenced by outside factors. Let's talk about the just film awards. Do you know of any other awards that are in the film industry?
No, not
Like
really.
I know about the award at Cannes and Sundance. These are more like more for artistic movies,
Yeah.
like French films. There's a genre of films that can be put as the genre of French films because they are so different. Well, in my opinion, but it's a bit stereotypical to put that
Yeah.
label on something. So I believe that this Academy Awards is more of the popularity film award, and the Sundance and the Cannes film awards are more for the actual worth of the film, and the artistic the artistic worth.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, and who is your favorite actor or actress?
Good question.
Do you have one?
No, I
Do you
don't
have a
think so.
lot?
Well, sometimes there is an actor which I like for some role, but usually it's just that.
So you basically you like the role and not the actor or
Well,
the
I
actress.
like how the actor made the character come to life, but yeah, usually it's mostly based on how the character is in the movie.
Yeah. Well, for me it's a bit different because sometimes I just find these actors that I find that they can play completely different roles, really
Yeah.
really different roles, and they play it pretty well,
Yeah.
even though they are like one side of two other sides of the word.
Yeah.
So
Well, sometimes I watch a lot of movies made by this, well, where the same actor is playing, but it doesn't make me like the actor just because I watched a lot of his movies. I don't know. I do have actors that I like, but I wouldn't say that they're my favorites because I can't decide.
are you more likely to watch a film that has an actor and actress playing in it who has won an Academy Award?
I don't think so.
So if you see it in the trailer that they say why the Academy Award winning Meryl Streep or something like this, you
I
don't
don't
get
think it's
you don't
gonna
get sucked
affect
into
me
it.
much.
Okay. Well, and there are a lot of actors and actresses who haven't won Oscars, but they are
Yes.
pretty good actors, like
Exactly.
Gary Oldman or
Yeah.
Johnny Depp. They
Exactly.
they they don't have Oscars.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, my favorite actor,
Yes.
I have a lot. I have well, I have from time to time I have these actors that I come back to, like Ian McKellen, Sir Patrick Stewart. Those are two brilliant actors. Anthony Hopkins. Basically, more the British ones. I like. There are a few Hungarian ones that I like, but you wouldn't know about them.
Yeah.
So I'm just sticking to the international stars. Um, there's Charlotte Rampling. I like her very much. She was actually the one who said that it's racist against whites to boycott the Oscars because they feel that they don't have enough African Americans.
Yeah.
But
And what about you? Do you usually watch a movie? Well, are you more into watching a movie which has an actor who has won an Academy Award, or
well, I don't think the Academy Award is what I watch. I watch the IMDb side because I think that's a quite
yes?
accurate awarding system, and they are quite accurate in the points system. So I watch that, and I don't look for the Academy Award winners. I more like I'm more looking for the ones who has won the Cannes, either a Cannes or a Sundance award, because
Yes.
I feel like that they have something that actually is different and not just popular. Well, yeah. So about the let's turn back to the Academy Awards. So about the
Yes.
nominations, which category do you think is the most important? We have the best actor, best actress, supporting actor, supporting actress, best picture, best director, music.
Well, I think the director one is pretty important. It might actually help the director make more movies that are very
Yes,
good.
and the film's quality depends a lot on the
Yeah.
director, right? For example,
True.
like you have Quentin Tarantino. You can always tell
Yeah.
that this was a movie made by Quentin Tarantino because he has this touch that you can notice in a movie.
Yes, and maybe the writer also should be one of the things looked.
Yes, but do you think it's more valuable if this is an original screenplay, or is it more valuable if it's based on actual book or play or something?
I think both have the same value because uh, it's still the same work to make the movie, to write it, to direct it.
Yes, and I think it's pretty hard to adapt a book
Yes,
into a film.
it's actually is very hard because you have something to surpass maybe, and make something great, because, well, people usually compare the movie and the
Yes,
book.
and still feel faithful to the book.
Yes, of
But
course.
there are some scenes, like a book's perspective is always you have the narration, and in most films you don't have that. So
Yes,
they need some way of actually building the narration into the film,
exactly.
which is interesting. Yeah. So I think every one category should be the same, maybe the same worth
Yes, I think so too.
of the nominations. Even the hairstyling and the design and the clothing.
Of course, because it gives some kind of touch to the movie always.
Yes, and it has the atmosphere of the time that it's played in. So, we have been talking about a lot of things, but there's one thing that is pretty close to me, is the foreign language film, which has a Hungarian film got a nomination this year. It's called On Body and Soul, Testről és Lélekről in Hungarian,
Yes.
and we have seen it yesterday.
Yes, we saw it yesterday.
Yes, just to make sure, just to check the quality. So, what is your opinion on the film now that you had time to sleep on it and think about it?
Well, it was a good movie. Maybe not something I'm used to, so there's nothing I can compare it to. But
But that's a good thing,
Yes,
right? Like it's one of
exactly.
its own. It's one of its kind.
I kind of liked it. Maybe for what I'm used to, it's a little slow paced, but doesn't mean that it's bad because of that.
Yes, but it's deliberately so
Yeah.
slower paced than even a slow paced movie.
Yeah, I
It's
noticed.
deliberately slow, which is I think, but it's a really good thing. In
Yeah,
this today's really fast paced life, to just get this something to yank out of your everyday life and just sit down and for 2 hours don't move, don't expect everything to happen in 10 seconds.
and have a lot of time to think of what's happening in the movie.
Yes.
Every little detail.
Yes, it was, but I think it was pretty beautiful. The pictures and the cuts and everything.
Yes, I agree.
There was a really.
That's nice.
I don't want to spoil anything for someone who actually might have not watched it yet.
I
But
would like to watch it.
would you recommend it?
Yes, I think so.
Would you recommend it to everyone or just some group of people?
Maybe only some group of people, because, well, there are people who would never watch something that like that. For example, my brother.
But that's why I think that it should be recommended for them, because it's not something that they usually do. So
I
just
kind
do
of
something
think
different.
that, like, for in case of my brother, he's too young to actually
oh yeah,
sit
how
down.
old is your brother?
Well, he's 17, but he's not.
Well, 17 is not
Okay,
that young.
I
I was
didn't-
expecting something like 8.
The other one is 11. He will be 11 in 2 months, but
Okay,
yes,
that's
to that
maybe
one I won't.
Yeah, that's
so,
maybe
yeah.
a bit too young.
But to the other brother, I think he's not like mature enough to watch something like that. He would watch it and he would hate it because it's slow paced and it touches nothing that he
yes,
cares
you
about.
you need a bit of maturity
That's
to fully understand and fully.
That's what I think. Like, to those who aren't mature enough for that kind of movies, I don't
Yeah.
think it would.
But there are a
give
lot
anything
of
to
adults and a lot
Who
of
aren't.
people who are not mature, even
Yeah.
if they are in their late years.
True.
Yeah. So what do you think are the elements of a good film?
Well, most probably the story that is under the movie, like what it's telling you by what it shows.
Okay, so let's make a list. Like, we need to have a good story.
Yeah, I think that's probably the main point.
Okay, we have the story. Then after that, what do we need?
Probably good acting and I don't know how to say it, but the filming also, the view how you show it should probably be very important.
So acting and directing, right?
Yes.
Producing,
Yes.
the good camera work,
Yeah, I think that's one of-
good editing. That's really
yeah,
important.
most. Yeah. True.
So you need a lot of things, and one is not more important than the other, because
Yes.
actors get a lot more publicity than any other part who takes part in creating a film.
But all of them are as important as the other ones.
Yes, because without a good script, the actors wouldn't have the opportunity to give this good performance.
Yes, but then there's also a part. What do you think about unscripted acting when actors add something to the movie by doing something unscripted?
Well, if they get the character right, and if they grasp the character and they can stay in character while making the improvised lines, I think it adds to the movie's quality.
Yeah, I also agree
It
because
adds
I think
a sense of reality.
sometimes that can actually help be a better way to act than what's actually in the lines. Sometimes, not always.
Yes. Well, yeah, but
Because-
it really depends on the cases, the particular cases.
Of course.
Yes, but it takes a lot of work to make a good film. And it's a group effort. I think.
Definitely.
Yes. So what is your I think On Body and Soul is quite a controversial film. There will be people who will love it and there will be people who will be like, what is this? This is not a good movie.
Yes, I think there will be a lot of both sides.
So what do you think is the point of a film? Is it to make an entertainment for people, or is it to make something that they think about, or is it both, or neither?
I think
of it?
it can be both, and it can only be one at a time, depending on the movie and also on the viewer. Because, well, when people aren't mature to watch a movie for what it's saying, then it's only for entertainment. But otherwise, it should also be for what it's actually saying.
Yes. In my opinion, I like the controversial films better because that shows that they are not the popular type of films, because they people of different groups react to it differently, and
Yeah.
that's what I like when it's controversial, the acceptance. But I've noticed like a scheme that there's drama films are generally better rated than comedy films.
Maybe because not everyone understands the comedy, and some comedy films actually have.
Or people like drama more.
Or yeah,
They like to feel that someone is having a rough day also, and it's not just them.
yeah.
Yes,
sometimes
and also like thrillers are more highly rated than horror movies.
which is nonsense.
What? Like thrillers are.
Yeah,
I
I
think thrillers are
understand,
better.
but I
'Cause
think that
the horror movies is playing on your biological reaction to fear, and thriller is more like a psychological. horror.
yeah, but also depending on the horror movie, because well, I don't like the horror movies that actually have a lot of jump scares, because well, it's not, for me it's not that interesting to watch something because you know that someone's gonna jump out of the screen. Well, not literally, but
Yes.
jump at you or make a very loud noise, which kind of takes the horror out of it actually.
Yeah. Well, it's just a different type. They
Yeah.
play on different types, but people like
course.
horror movies
But
a lot.
lately, the newer ones, I noticed that they have the jump scares more. Then sometimes I feel like they overuse it.
Yes. Well, it is really. I don't like horror movies, but for the people who like it, please watch it. Continue on watching. Don't listen to me.
Of course.
Yeah. Welcome back. We have arrived at the end of our show about Academy Award. So, let's just have a summary of everything. So, what do you think is going to be the result of the Academy Awards regarding the original song? We have listened to all of the songs now that are nominated.
Yes. Well, I don't know which one is gonna be chosen, but I know that which ones I like. So, I like the "This Is Me" from The Great Showman. It's a
The
nice
Greatest
song.
Showman, yes.
Yeah. And also, I like the one that was before this, before we started talking,
Yes,
which
Mystery
is
of Love.
Mystery of Love.
Yes, it's in
a very interesting song.
in a film Call Me by Your Name, which is a really interesting story about a young man who falls in love with an older man and their relationship. I haven't watched it, to be honest, but maybe I will. someday. Yeah, in my opinion, I think the winner is going to be Andrade Stand Up for Something, because I just feel like that is going to win the Oscar.
Yeah.
So we'll see, I guess.
We'll see, of course.
Yes, we'll see. So that was on the topic of Academy Awards. Everyone can decide for themselves what they feel about the Academy Awards, if they feel that it's something really important or if they feel that it's just a waste of money and time. But, it's everyone's own decision and opinion. It will still be something, a big event in the history of filmmaking. So stay with us next time. Check out our Facebook page, Online Radios by CEI. We'll be back on Tuesday talking about taboos, so stay with us. Goodbye.